On this episode of season 4, let's talk.
You have to motivate yourself.
Wow.
People have to build up a skill talking to themselves. They might think it's crazy, but that really helps a lot. It just gets out of the chest.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Rajiv Show, and I'm your host Rajiv Doreswamy. And this show aims to help reach out to those who are currently struggling in life and to remind you that life is indeed beautiful when you're inspired to make it your own. And this season of Let's Talk, I'm talking to my best friend from India. We grew up together. Basically, we had a lot of crazy moments together. And I would like to introduce my best friend, Amarnath. Amarnath, pal, how are you doing today?
Rajiv, it's nice to catch up with you after so long. I'm doing good, Rajiv.
Yeah.
Everything's fine here. Everything's going good. We're all safe here. How are you doing?
Keeping productive as always. And my first opening question is, could you tell my listeners who are you and what you do?
So basically, I'm into animation industry. I I was a technical animator for a year in Eccentric Studios, and now I'm teaching animation. I'm teaching graphic design. I'm teaching video editing. I'm teaching 2D animation, and things will go on as you never expect it to happen. So yes, that's me.
Let's get into the first question in this interview is that who are you in high school? Are you the guy who the popular guy? Are you the guy on books? Are you the guy who pranks people? Who are you in high school basically?
I'm more of a tough one who gets into fight and stuff. Yeah, the books apart. Yes, I am with the books at home, but at school, we're with fists, all dealing with fist and mouth. That kind of guy. So yeah, rough and tough to be in short.
Brings back memories. My second
Yes.
question is who is your greatest motivator and why?
The greatest motivator uh, I would consider myself, because there is something known as self motivation. That's most important thing to everyone who's ever undergoing anything. Yeah, you can have motivators around you. It can be your parents, it can be your teachers as well, it can be your colleagues, it can be your friends as well. But the most important time, it comes when you are alone, and when there is no one there for you. You have to motivate yourself.
Wow.
People have to build up a skill talking to themselves. They might think it's crazy, but that really helps a lot. It just gets out of the chest. So it's best that you look into a mirror and talk to yourself, or imagine someone like a hologram. Imagine someone is standing in front of you, and just give your thoughts to them, and you'll get your answers back as soon as you are giving your thoughts away. So that is where it's basically you're talking to your mind, or you're talking to your heart. So we obviously have these two sides of personality. One is the angel and one is the devil. So it's like talking to them. We see in movies as well. So that's how it goes. It's better to talk to yourself, and self motivation is one of the best things I know.
Wow. That's so powerful. My next
Yes, indeed.
question, yeah. My next question is what made you who you are today?
Okay, that's a good one. So what made me who I am is totally a confusing part, because everyone has a dream, everyone has a goal, but what happens is not everyone gets to achieve it, and not everyone gets to dream it as well.
Mm,
So here, what the important thing you have to consider is get out that fear first, because I've seen my own students who have the fear that the other person is doing better than him.
mm,
They have to let go of the fear that they have a different path, you have a different path. So it is either you have to know what you're doing, you have to go in the right direction, or get to know what you're doing first, or struggle for what life is giving you. These are the two kinds of things which I have seen. There may be more, but what I know is, um, you get to know what you're doing, uh, focus on that, work for it. Else, whatever life is giving you, accept it and work for it. And anyway, both the cases, you are going to work for it. It's just that in the first case, you know the route, you know the destination.
Mm.
In the second case, you don't know the destination, but you know the route. Simple as that.
Wow. And my last question is, what are your thoughts for the future?
Okay, so this is almost similar to the previous question.
Mm,
Thoughts for the future, I wouldn't say nothing, because life is full of surprises I've seen till now.
mm,
I may not have lived life, half of my life, but
mm,
still, whatever I've seen till now for the past 12 to 10 to 12 years,
mm,
it's always a surprise. Life is always a surprise. It can be, if you consider that as a good, you take it as a gift. If you see it as a bad, you call it as a curse. So see, it's that way. So the thing, see, I had in mind as a teenager, that excitement to become an engineer or to become an animator was totally different. But now what I'm doing is teaching. It's nowhere related to what I dreamed of.
mm,
So things like this happen where all of a sudden you have a U-turn in your life, or take diversion in your life. It's like that.
mm.
So and and the worst part is, you get depressed when things you expect, they don't happen. So instead of that, yeah, definitely it's not 50%. I mean, it's not 100%. It's just a probability. Either it will definitely happen or something else will happen. So according to me, I don't have to plan anything for the future as well. Things will keep happening to you, definitely. Just work for it. Done. As long as you are working for it, you don't have to worry about the future.
Wow. Awesome. Amazing. You should be a philosopher. The very deep stuff that you have. Anyway, we're gonna go into my favorite segment,
Okay.
which is the art talk segment. And before we get into the arts talk segment, we're just gonna go on a break, and we'll come back after these few short messages. Stay tuned, folks. Calling in collectors from around the Philippines. Are you looking for a valuable history lesson about Baguio City, or you just want to collect stuff that brings you back in time? Check out Hobby Depot Baguio, which is located at Kuwis number 8 Prudential Life Building below Jollibee, Assumption Road, Baguio City. You can also find them on Facebook at Hobby Depot Baguio. Hobby Depot Baguio, the one-stop shop for everything hobby related. All right, folks, welcome back to the Rajiv Show, and my guest, my best friend from India, Amarnath, and we're going to talk about art. This is one thing that connected him and I. Long time ago, we worked on a comic book, and this was funny because we were both inspired by, I think, Spider-Man 3 at that time when
Yes, yes.
Spider-Man 3, yeah, he remembers the story. And first of all, I want to ask you, was it tough to transition from architecture, engineering, sorry, to animation? Was it tough or was it an easy transition?
Well, I wouldn't call it a transition, because what I had in mind was to complete mechanical engineering and complete animation and combine them to form a new subject.
Ooh.
Because later on, everything is going to be a 3D and a visual. It's all about AR and VR, all those kind of things. So it's easier to get into digital world right now. So I had a plan like that. So, but unfortunately, engineering didn't work out. But everything's going fine in the animation world. So yes, I wouldn't call it a transition, but yeah, it's like an opportunity. I had two opportunities. I want to combine them together. Right now, one of them is going well. That's
And
how it is.
so far with the plans, uh, is there
Mhm.
anything that you like to say about your thoughts about the animation world in India? Is it, what are your thoughts? Like good, bad? What are your thoughts?
It's growing up. It's rapidly growing up from the past couple of years, because it has been stable and it has been growing slowly from I guess 2000, 2005, in those kind of ages. But right now, the VFX industry and the animation industry is having a rapid growth because of the gaming industry as well. People are involved into games, and they're loving the graphics, the latest graphics which is coming up with the games. Like Ubisoft, Rockstar Games, and all the Assassin's Creed, GTA 5, God of War. Take this PUBG also. They are loving it. They are loving it so much that they themselves want to join the gaming industry. That's what is happening right now. So it's a huge amount of growth, I would say. And yeah, there is a lot of demand of artists in the VFX industry and the gaming industry and the animation industry. So it's going well, much good.
Any advice for people who are tuning in and they want to get in, especially from the animation world?
Who are going to enter the animation world. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say there are multiple doors open for you. You can walk in any door you like. Because once you study this animation part, it's not just about a Toy Story movie. It's not like a Kung Fu Panda movie. It's not like the characters are moving and you animate it. That's not only animation. Under animation or inside animation, there are so many things that we don't even know. We have not even heard about it. So there is a huge amount of categories that has been separated. There is so many departments inside animation itself. We need VFX, we need animation together also. We cannot just survive with only animation. We cannot survive only with VFX. We need both. So I would say there are tons and tons of opportunities for this. Once you learn the complete industry of animation, you have an n number of doors open. You can walk in any door you want. You don't like it, you can walk out and walk into some other door again, like what I'm doing.
Speaking of animation, what is your favorite? What's your favorite job from animation? Modeling, texture, skeleton,
My favorite part is the animation itself because
like the
it's
full.
basically animation. Yes, just the animation. You're basically giving a life to the character. It's like you're making it move. So it's like you're interacting with him. You're telling him what to do. It's like you're playing with a toy. So it's very fun. It's a very fun thing to do because when you animate a character, it can be anything. It can be a animal anatomy. It can be a human anatomy. Whatever it is, you have to observe some person to do that. If I have to animate a fat character, let's say Incredibles, so the
Mm,
huge character which is there, the way he walks is going to be different. Or if you take a look at Kung Fu Panda, the way he walks on two legs is
mm.
basically different. You're combining an animal with a human walk. So there are so many things that you have to observe and take care of those kind of mix and match stuff while doing animation.
Wow. This has been an interesting dissection of animation. And I never knew that you'd actually philosophize it, just so you know.
Yes,
But interesting. I hope we could set up another season where we dissect everything with animation because, as people notice, I've also dabbled into animation in my last years, and we both have some few experience, and I think we'll cover this in one more season where we would talk about this. We'll move on to
sure,
the
sure.
next
Yeah,
segment, which is what inspires you. Uh, this segment, you can say anything you want that inspires you, that keeps you motivated, and people. If it's people, if it's your friends, your family, feel free. It's
mm.
10 to 30 minutes tops.
Yes. So what inspires me is a good one. So see, basically in childhood, as a kid, we all have this enthu about comics, about cartoons. We used to get try to collect comic books. We should go and read newspapers. I mean, not the headlines, the comics. So we all keep doing that. As a kid, we all have that interest. But when I worked with you for the comics which we created, that actually boosted my interests in animation as well. Basically because I love pandas, and when I saw the Kung Fu Panda movie, That also inspired me a lot. And when I saw Spider-Man, that also inspired me a lot as well. The comic, the Marvel characters, the DC characters, whichever we keep seeing, because of the work which we did, which the comics which we drew, the comics which we created, because of that, it actually boosted my interest. So that can be considered as an inspiration. And yeah, also once see that is before you enter the industry. That interest is there when it changes totally when you enter the industry as well. So after having so much of interest, so much of enthu, and when I entered that industry with the same amount of interest, it totally burst out of flames. It led me to where I am right now. So yes, my teachers also have been a good motivators, helpers, so much. And now it's time for me to do that. Yes, self motivation again and inspiring. I would say the best is Stanley. The comics which he draw and all those things which he's done to entertain us with the characters. We used to make our own characters, you and me. So yes, that is the biggest boost I ever got from my childhood.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, best friend. Thank you so much for joining the show. And I hope to talk to you some more. We have a lot of stuff to cover along. And awesome. Thank you so much, Amar. And folks for tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next episode. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Anything for you.